Dude, is it Tuesday?
That's what they tell us.
Okay. So that means Monday's in the books.
Yeah, it's definitely behind us.
Okay. So tomorrow will be what day?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow will be tomorrow. Okay.
Yep.
All right then. I thought it was hump day, but I'm wrong again. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, batten down the hatches. We'd like to introduce you to the greatest combat sports show bar none. You are now in the Beatdown.
You wanna get beat down?
Let us now introduce you to your host, the Badger, and
Listen, a couple years ago, my wife bought these adult playing cards.
Okay.
And they really weren't like playing cards. They were you give them out like on special occasions, and you can redeem them throughout the year.
Oh wow. Okay.
Well, one of them was kind of out there, like I would say like a 5X if you were really going on a scale. So I decided I was going to redeem the card, and she said, "You can when pigs fly." Well, I looked out this morning and I saw my neighbor on her trampoline. I figured this was as good a day any.
That's a sign.
Yeah, to call
That's
that
a
day. Go out there.
Listen, bro, I'm with you, man. We got to speak these things into existence, brother. She needs to honor that, bro. She make you honor it, bro.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking
It's
about.
tough being a man out here, ain't it?
It's hard, bro. It really is hard. And no, but when you're single or beginning to date, it's a buffet.
Oh man.
It is a buffet. But the more you commit, the more you move into a very high-priced restaurant with limited options. So, what would it cost you $5.99 at the buffet at CC's is now going to cost you your life and limited quantities.
A la carte, yeah, right?
Yes. Oh, there are no combos. There are no combos. There are no side dishes. It's a la carte. It's a la carte.
Well, like I've told you before, brother, if you never heard from nobody, you hear from me. I think you're a good man, bro. So
I appreciate that.
whatever your journey is, brother.
But wasn't there a great orator that said man cannot live by a la carte alone?
I don't know. We can make it one though.
Okay.
I'm down for that.
Okay.
I'm definitely down for that.
Shout out to my wife. Love her.
There you go.
Love her to life.
And that's how we should start. And that's how you should start off every show. In case you didn't know, bro. But you need to hear that from me.
No.
It's Tuesday, man. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. It is Tuesday. I'm still on this side of the ground, so I got opportunity. I'm learning a lot though, bro. I'm learning a lot that cancer is a lot of times we do things that other people expect us to do, or we're completely on the other end of the spectrum. And we do what we want to do, and we expect others to come along. And I've been taking a lot of inventory since this funeral on Saturday. And I was like, man, I need to get back to really doing what it is I'm supposed to be doing and not putting what I'm supposed to be doing aside, when others feel like you should be doing something else. So one of our gifts, I think, is introspection and just taking self-inventory. So that's what I've been doing. But they're not here to hear that. They're here to hear about combat sports.
Indeed, they are, brother. So you know how we starting this day off. I'm sure you're ready for it. So go ahead. Tell me how your little brother gets out of this one, bro. 14 different charges, a hit and run, all on camera. What is happening, bro?
You know, I missed that. Who? All I saw was the shooting in Colorado. I did not see.
We're gonna talk. We're gonna talk about that too, because I'm sure you got something to say about that. But no, your little brother Tank.
Oh my gosh.
Yep, hit and run back in November. They just released the videotape. He's going to be arrested if he already hasn't been, bro. Left the scene in his Lamborghini, bro. He struck another car, ran through a fence, and then left the scene, bro. It's just, I don't know. I don't know how many times.
When was his fight?
You have to almost throw your career away.
When was his fight?
I want to say right after that, right?
So
it had to be.
They held this until now?
No, I'm saying this. No. You heard I misspoke. I'm saying that I think his fight was prior to the wreck. I think the wreck was after the fight.
Okay, but still, they held this until now.
I guess the people had to get all their cases together. You had to do because he fled the scene. So I guess between the witness saying who it was,
they had him on camera.
Well, not him per se, but the vehicle. Yes, and he was the driver.
You can rest assured, if it were me or you, we would have already had our court date. We'd be sitting in prison, or at least stuck in jail up until that limit. Hey, I like him as a fighter, but you know what? Haven't heard everything that happened, but you know what? You break the law, you break the law. If you've broken the law, you broke the law. You need to face up to it and deal with it. I'm not going to come out on your side just because you're Gervonta Tank Davis and you've had an extremely hard life. I get that. You've used that to your benefit in certain situations and turned it into positives in a lot of situations. But I would like to hear more about it. I need to really investigate now to find out what they're saying, what happened. This is the first time I'm really hearing about it, but that's a lot of charges, bro.
Yeah, basically he just ran a red light. We don't know, and I would assume.
Did he hit somebody?
Yes, he struck another car. It was a Toyota Solara. Well, you can see it when you pull up the video. You'll see it.
But are they okay?
Yeah, sounds like they were. The story didn't say a whole lot, but yes, I think the injuries are minor. But they gonna listen. He's gonna be fighting the next 3 or 4 fights for free because he's gonna come up against so many lawsuits. That is crazy. You ran a red light and you hit somebody and you left.
Well, you probably left because maybe there was.
Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it.
But now it's taken so long. If they didn't get a blood test from you within a certain period of time, they have no evidence that it was substance. It was induced. And I would hate to think that could have been the case. I'm with you. I'm inclined to believe that. I'm also inclined to believe that maybe there was something else going on in the vehicle that you want people to know about. Maybe there was a firearm in the vehicle. Maybe there was some weed in the vehicle. Whatever it is, it didn't warrant. Well, I can't say that. We try to make excuses for these guys, bro, because we've been there before. We've been young, so we can look back, right? They've never been our age, right? So we look back, and we was having a conversation regarding Deshaun Watson about something not as similar, but just getting in trouble, right? Now, Gervonta is a totally different animal because one, he didn't have the upbringing Deshaun had, and he's a boxer versus a football player. There's a whole lot of different things going on there, right? But Gervonta, to me, and I'm going to say this, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, he's been rich for so long, right? He's been a public figure for so long that why would this still be happening? Like, I get it, bro, but just like with Deshaun, I was saying, well, why is someone else not doing this for you? Why are you driving, Tank, if you know you're going to be drinking? And listen, I hate to say that because I don't want to put that in the air because we don't know that to be true. But I'm trying to figure out why else would you flee the scene? You got insurance. The very smart thing is to stay because, okay, I ran the red light, you take it up, and it's over with before it really gets started, right? But now you flee the scene, it becomes criminal. And now it's a whole case and a whole thing. It's a whole bunch of theatrics. When if you just say, this would have been a traffic violation, you ran a red light, again, we don't know what was in the car, and hopefully he wasn't drinking, and that's it, and it goes away. You pay for the vehicle, you settle out of court, but now, bro, look at where we are. Everything you've worked so hard for, we're here now. And I don't understand. These kids, if they don't have anything, bro, they have social media. They have YouTube. They've seen this movie 1,000 times. How? It's one thing to see a movie. It's another thing to be in it.
Yeah.
And realistically, if there was something in the car that would have gotten him some serious time, this may have been the more viable option.
What he felt was the best option. Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not going to speculate. It's
Yeah,
easy
no
to
one do that.
But
Yeah.
you know, I'm hoping that the people were okay. And you know they're going to sue him because now they know who he is.
Oh yeah, and the people, the property damage, the people whose yard you ran up in, them too.
Yeah. You gonna pay. Hopefully they sue your insurance, but they're definitely coming after you for a civil suit.
Oh yeah.
So
Because the insurance won't be responsible for the physical damage of the vehicle and whatever,
And the
if
property
they went to
damage.
hospital or anything like that, the image. And
yeah,
to a residence though?
yes.
Okay.
It would cover property damage to a resident because it would cover property. Your car owner's insurance would cover property damage to a limited amount.
Yeah, a lot bit right. Mhm.
Yeah. So this is gonna be, oh my gosh, yeah. You're gonna be like Adrian Broner taking fights to settle suits because this.
Man, he'll wish he was in Adrian Broner position.
And he's young.
Adrian had to pick one person.
He's like, what's Tank, like 24, 25?
Him and Lou been around the same age. Yeah, 25, 26. They're all in it together.
You really got to get it together, bro. I mean, you got Baltimore on your back, bro. And unfortunately, you can see the history of young black athletes from or around Baltimore. You get a few passes in order to build up enough casework to where they can really just throw you under the jail and throw your name and smear your name. So he may actually not get a pass, but get away lighter on this one than you think because they know more is coming if he doesn't straighten it out.
Well, one thing about it, two things for sure. Floyd Mayweather is going to protect his investment, so I'm sure whatever can be done, they'll try to figure it out.
And I'm sure he called.
I mean,
Floyd.
Tank still, and look, like you said, he's 26, whatever. He got a whole lot more years fighting ahead of him than he do behind him. So yeah, he's a proverbial cash cow. So we'll see how this works out, bro. But I want to see if you were up on that, but apparently you missed it.
Yeah, I missed it. My TV, every channel I turn on, we're hearing about the shooting out in Colorado.
Oh no, I'm on social media, bro. I'm on Twitter with it. I didn't get this from the regular news, but I'm sure you'll see it at some point now.
Yeah. Wow.
So, bro.
Yeah.
So we the media talked to Terrence Crawford after the fight this weekend. And I don't know if you've seen the clips going around, but a lot of people are saying that this kid Virgil Ortiz is ready for Crawford. And we touched on this a little bit yesterday. We ain't gonna spend too much time on it now, but Terrence Crawford said something that I thought was appropriate for a champ, appropriate for one of the best in the world, right? They asked him about Virgil Ortiz, and he simply says, look, Virgil beat Mo. Mo hurt his hand, right? But Mo did take some shots from Ortiz, and he was starting to slow down. So this is why I began to like Terrence Crawford, because most guys are going to rock what they got. But he's calling it how he saw it, right? But he was adamant in saying that he believed Mo really hurt his hand. But he goes on to say that Virgil Ortiz looked good. He looked how he was supposed to look. This was the showcase fight for him. This was the next step up in competition for him. The media asked, so, hey, what do you think happens between a fight between you and Virgil Ortiz? And Terrence Crawford, with that look that he gives, that kind of smile that he gives, and he says, what you think is going to happen? Bro, that was enough for me. Goes back to what you were talking about yesterday, and both of us are on the same page, obviously. But here, Terrence Crawford very candidly said, "What you think gonna happen?" Not just looking at the guy like, "Did you just ask me?" So, bro, Crawford is the man. Do we see this fight happen anytime soon, or is he right? Virgil Ortiz should definitely wait in line.
He's right. But we will see it soon. Because we talked about how many superstars Golden Boy and Top Rank have. They don't have a lot. So you want to make sure you put your best fights forward to get these pay-per-view dollars. And I believe they're going to throw him in there with the Wolf way too early. And he going to get sparked. He gonna get sparked, and we'll see what it does to his psyche. But he gonna get knocked. He gonna get stretched. I don't see him going the distance with Crawford in any shape or form.
So staying on the Crawford train, Bo, said Earl Spence fight is off. We can stop talking about it's never gonna happen. Do you believe that, bro? And if so, man, what is this saying about the sport of boxing?
I believe it's off for now. I believe we'll see it happen at some point, unless Crawford's deciding he's going to stay with Top Rank, even after all the fallout that happened at the end of last year. The sport of boxing has fallen into, and we've talked about this at length. I'm not going to, add one ad nauseum with it. We've talked about the fact that the sport of boxing is not about the best fighting the best. It's about preserving my fighter for more pay-per-view fights, keeping the strap around my fighter as long as I can, unless I'm pressured or I've received enough money up front that it's going to cover the damage of my fighter getting beat for the next 2 years. And that's boxing. It's not anything extremely new, and it's not anything that's going to go away. It's boxing.
Well, I will say I am one that will be sad this fight doesn't happen. Just like I was sad that Mayweather Pacquiao didn't happen as soon as it should have. We got it. It was not what we wanted, but this is what we deserve because we put up with all this stuff as fans. But yeah, man, hopefully we get to see Crawford Spence within the next 18 months to 2 years, because if not, don't nobody want to see them guys in their mid to late 30s fighting, bro. They ain't even in the same type of fight. So, yeah, well, moving on past that, bro. Canelo versus Billy Joe Saunders tickets went on sale today, bro. You got yours yet?
No. I'm going to go ahead and wait for you to put it on your black card, and I'll pay you back.
Okay, got you. All right, well, listen, man, I'm going to get the tickets for the fight. You make sure you get the rental car and the reservations for the hotel in Dallas, bro.
Got it. Got it. Do you want to stay at Jerry's World, or you want to stay?
If I can sleep on the Star, that would be preferred.
Well, I'd pee on the Star. I wouldn't really sleep on it. That's just how much I think of the Cowboys. Listen, we got a big fight coming up Thursday, bro. And I know we'll talk about it on Thursday, but we got a big fight coming up on Thursday on NBC Sports Network. Amanda Serrano versus Danielle Bermudez. I'm looking forward to this fight. I reached out to Amanda Serrano's people, hoping that we could have gotten her on the last minute for an interview. I haven't been able to work that out yet, but I'm looking forward to this fight. I think this is going to be a good fight.
So, what is it about this fight that intrigues you so much?
I like the way Amanda fights.
Okay. Well, it's fair play.
I really like the way she fights. And I've been looking at Danielle Bermudez, and I think it's just going to be like the Rock'em Sock'ems, where you put them in the center of the ring and you hit the ring post, and they just keep swinging.
Wait a minute. So you feel like Serrano's going to get hit, bro? Is that what you saying? You think she's going to get... just want to make sure I'm hearing you right. So you saying she's going to be a Pez dispenser in the ring. Is that what you're saying?
No. What I'm saying is she's got
an opponent. Robot.
Right. She's got an opponent that's not going to be afraid to swing with her.
Oh, okay.
So
that don't mean she's going to necessarily get hit, right?
No, but at least then it's not going to be a boring fight.
Okay. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Just give me
that corner over there you were trying to back me into, not going to happen.
Well, good. You're working on your pivot. I'm proud of you, bro. So listen, is this fight also in Puerto Rico? Is this the NBC Ring City production?
You know what? I was wondering, but this is at Old San Juan.
Yeah, it's in Puerto Rico. So
right.
Is this
it didn't say Ring City.
Oh, okay.
But I'm thinking it is, because last fight was.
Yeah, because it was. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Is there something brewing on the tiny island, bro? I'm a little interested here. NBC back-to-back weekends in Puerto Rico, bro? Is this a thing?
Yeah, but
or did we miss something? Have they already said this?
They can have fans. If you look at the
for sure.
fight,
Yeah.
Fans. So, I mean, and if something happens, who's going to hear about it over here? Like if there was an outbreak of COVID, that sounds cruel, but true. I mean, I just think it was a convenient, economical way for NBC to put on some really good fights. And we had Puerto Rico versus Mexico last week. And I think Amanda Serrano, she's from Brooklyn.
She's Puerto Rican.
But
she's a New Yorker.
Right.
Yep.
So
she represents the Puerto Rican people. Yeah.
Which is funny, but we'll get into that later.
Okay.
But she said, every chance she gets to go to Puerto Rico and fight, it just does her heart good.
Yeah, it feels right. Okay.
But it's gonna be, I think it's gonna be a good fight. Thursday, NBC Sports is gonna be on.
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I'm intrigued here. I want to look more into what NBC got going on. 9 p.m. Okay. I want to look more into what NBC got going on. But this is interesting, bro. Like, so they're setting up shop in Puerto Rico. Now, listen. Are they the only production company that's doing this outside the contingent or the continental United States? Because they could have done this here in Florida and it would have been just as fine. I mean, they don't have any regulations here either. So
no, but you think about it, this is brilliant because you got so many Puerto Ricans in this country now can actually see fights from their homeland, whether they're all Puerto Rican fighters or not. It's bridging a gap. If they're smart, they would start broadcasting baseball games from Puerto Rico as well. But, boxing is a great way to build that bridge, to get that fan who would watch a Puerto Rican fighter, but not necessarily get to see a fight from Puerto Rico. And now they get both. They get both.
Okay, I guess so, bro. I never
Hi, Faki. Thank you for joining.
I never thought about it. But okay, I guess that could be a thing. So now we're gonna transition over to you, bro. We got a big UFC card this weekend. Any thoughts, any fights you want to discuss as we get into close to midweek? We talked a little bit about Stipe and what we think he would need, or not so much about what we think Stipe would need to do, but more so what we would hope to see from Ngannou in this particular fight.
Yeah, I want to go leaving that fight because I know we'll deal with all three of them on Thursday, and we'll probably preview them again tomorrow. Just so we're not beating a dead horse, I want to go to the Tyron Woodley, Vicente Luke fight.
Luque fight, yeah, Luque, yeah.
What are you expecting to see out of Tyron Woodley? Because
I don't know. And the crazy part is, and I'm gonna say this, and this is so bad, bro, but I feel like at this point, bro, I feel like Tyron is just doing it to get his money. I feel like Tyron is fighting out the rest of his contract so he can get paid. So that way he can start pursuing either his music more passionately or acting or whatever it is that he wants to get into. Because I haven't seen anything in his last 3 fights that makes me think that, one, he still has the passion to fight, and 2, man, I don't want to say this, bro, but does he still have the ability to win at a high level? I don't. Bro, he's been smoked his last 3 fights. Smoked. I mean, smoked.
Last 3 fights.
So,
yeah.
So, I mean, it's like,
this is not the Tyron Woodley we got used to seeing. In any way, shape, or form.
And Vicente Luque, bro, is no joke. I mean, he is one of those guys that can show up and win a big fight. Now, he's not going to beat any of the top 2 or 3 guys, or maybe even 4. But, bro, Luque's been around for a while. He's a contender. He can fight. And both of these guys are vets, so I don't think we're going to learn anything about either one of these guys in this fight from a fight standpoint. But I just don't know. Is Tyron going to bite down and fight, bro? And what I mean by that is not that he's not going to fight, but, bro, there comes a point in a fight where it becomes a fight, if you know what I mean. And when I see him, when those fights get to that point, the last few times he's been in that position, bro, he just didn't seem capable. He didn't look like he wanted it. I don't know. So this fight is definitely intriguing, but I can't see this working out. I mean, even if he wins this fight, what does it mean? Like, really? I mean, you see what I'm saying? Like, what happens here, bro?
Sadly enough, that's what I was thinking. When he fought Kamaru Usman, we figured, okay, he got the thought is if he loses, he'll get a rematch. But he got so dominated and decimated in that fight, nobody even screamed for a rematch. I'm the first one to scream for a rematch. No. Then he fought Gilbert Burns. And people were like, okay, Woodley wins this one. He's right back in the championship hunt. He got dismantled, bro. Then he fights Kobe Covington. And it's like, why? I mean, the grudge match doesn't hold anything because you hold no title. Neither one of you hold a title. And then it was just like, okay, Kobe was just trying to add this name to his resume.
Right.
And then he hurts his arm or his shoulder and he has to quit.
And here's the interesting thing about it. I'm glad you brought that particular fight up, bro. Now I feel a little more convicted about what I said before. About this being about just, riding the contract out or just, getting your last fight so you can get your checks. In that Kobe Covington fight, bro, even the lead up to the fight, it didn't look the same. It didn't feel the same.
No.
He was doing this whole Black Lives Matter thing versus the whole Make America Great Again. And that was the UFC's. That's what they wanted. Okay, that's the only reason that's the only way you could sell this fight. Both these guys will come out losses, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So at that point, it started to look a little suspect, as we say. And now he gets into this fight, and it's like, what is it going to take? I mean, you just want to win to walk off into the sunset with a W? Or are you just really chasing this bag? If you're chasing this bag, bro, you're probably going to get beat. You're probably going to get beat.
Listen, he hasn't seemed like he's really cared since the Usman fight. Once he realized he could not beat Kamaru Usman, it seemed like there was no will left in him. So when he turned around and fought Gilbert Burns, there was no will left in him. When he fought Kobe Covington, really wasn't much in him. He didn't display anything. So I agree with you. This fight, I'm not really looking. Now, it'd be great if he came out and out of nowhere just showed the old Tyron Woodley. But you're right. Where do you go from here? You lost to Woodley, Burns, Covington. Which one do you, not Woodley, Usman, Burns, Covington. You're not going to get another fight with Usman right away. You're going to have to beat Burns and Covington again to get up there, to get another shot.
Mm-hmm.
And then how many fights do you have left on your contract? Because if you only have one or two, this is telling me, you're right. He's just riding out his contract, getting paid what he thinks he's due, and then he'll walk off if he doesn't get severely hurt.
And that's the unfortunate part, and we see this all too often. And we see it in all sports, but it shows its head a little differently in combat sports. You know what I mean? Like, bro, you can't get in this if not 100% in. I don't know if Woody's 100% in, bro. So we'll see.
I don't think he's been 100% in. I don't think this man has been 50% in. Last couple of times he just showed up.
Yeah,
now we could be completely wrong about him, but from the outside looking in,
and I hope we are.
Yeah,
right,
bro. I
hope we are.
Is that Fancy Mac snoring or is that Jomo?
Yeah, that would be Jomo, bro.
Okay, I was like, boy, Fancy Mac, she needs a sinus thing, cause breathing strips or something. But if that's Jomo, I get it. Listen, I'm looking forward to the fight just to see if we're ever going to have to watch him again. That's horrible to say because I really liked Tyron Woodley. I did. But I think this is going to tell us whether we'll ever see him in the octagon in a main card again. Although, maybe Dana is doing this to him to partially humiliate him. I don't know.
We'll see, bro, and we'll have a lot to say about it on Sunday's show because I think we'll be the first ones to say, "Hey, bro, this. If no one's told you, this is probably where you should draw the line, bro. This is probably where you should figure out whatever this other passion is and chase it because You don't want your legacy to end up like this, bro. 3 losses in a row, and this would be 4.
See, that's
come on, man. That totally just wrecks your legacy, in my opinion. We'll be talking about Tyrone as a great. Huh?
Go ahead.
No, I say, and I mean, this is completely tarnished his legacy, in my opinion, bro. And when we talk about Tyron Woodley, we're not going to talk about probably, well, looking like it might be Usman now. But at one point prior to GSP, the best 170 we've seen.
Tyron Woodley. He was beating everybody.
And now you're going to go down as just a footnote under Kamaru Usman because you got wiped your last 4 fights. And you weren't injured. You didn't have any massive weight cuts. By all intents, you just lost it. And you lost it and you didn't know how to turn it off. And now we're here.
The smartest thing he could have done was retired after he lost to Usman. Passing the
man. Burns. No. Or Gilbert, right?
No, because Gilbert, it was just, it promoted Gilbert. It just shot him above everybody else. People were trying.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
People were just looking at Burns after that fight, and it was just like, oh, yeah, he's definitely going to have to fight Usman. He did the same thing to Woodley that Usman did to Woodley. He's definitely the best competitor. He may even beat Usman after the way he decimated. I'm serious. This was the talk that was going around in the UFC community. He definitely would be able to beat Usman now. Look at the way he beat Woodley. Usman didn't do Woodley that bad. Burns took him down. Burns beat him up. But then when you saw Burns fight Usman, what happened? But they were doing it off the strength of Tyron Woodley's name. And now it doesn't matter who beats Tyron Woodley. Like you said, he's already his legacy is tarnished. No one's ever going to look at him as the best.
And the reason why I said after the Kamaru Usman fight was because the loss to Usman was so one-sided. But I think a lot of us looked at that in 2 ways. Either Usman is that good, which now we know that's the case, or stylistically this was the wrong fight for Tyrone, and maybe he had a bad night.
And the blueprint.
Gilbert Burns. Yeah, the Gilbert Burns fight was intriguing because you and I both said this too, and we may still share the same views. At least I know I do. I don't think anybody at 170 pounds beats Gilbert Burns other than Kamaru Usman. So him losing to Burns and then walking away may have been okay because Burns and Usman appear to be the 2 best.
If Burns had a better showing against Usman, I would agree with you on him losing to Burns and walking away would have been okay. Burns didn't have a good showing against Usman. Burns didn't look like he belonged in the octagon against Usman. Now, mind you, most people don't look like they belong in the octagon against him. But again, for the sake of Tyron Woodley's legacy, I think the best thing he could have done was after he lost to Kamaru Usman, pass the mantle. I'm done. Pass the mantle. Because now you just got 1 loss sitting there. But you can't go back and relive life. So now you've lost to Burns, and you're right. Walking away after the Burns fight would have been better than taking that Covington fight. Because you had no reason to take the Covington fight. The only reason you had to take the Covington fight was to shut him up, which Usman had already done. And when you had the title. That's why Kobe wanted you then, because you had the title. And he wanted to prove that, the MAGA hat was better than Black Lives Matter with the world title. Neither one of you have the title when you fought. There was no reason to take that fight. Walk away, bro. Walk away. But maybe he was convicted in his heart and in his mind that he could beat Kobe Covington.
I don't know, bro, but we gonna see which Tyrone show up on Saturday, and we'll keep that in mind. Anything else on the card you want to talk about, bro? Because we don't have to go into the Stipe Ngannou. We can do that tomorrow on Thursday. Nothing else on the card intrigues you?
Yeah, of course, the Sean O'Malley fight. I want to see.
That's right. Yeah.
I want to see how he's been able to heal from that injury.
Who's he got? Who's O'Malley fighting again?
O'Malley's fighting Thomas Almeida, which is going to be a good fight.
That'd be a good fight. Almeida is coming. It's going to be a good fight. Yeah, O'Malley first fight back since destroying what was that? His ankle or his knee?
I'm not sure. I think it was his ankle.
Okay. First fight back. Yeah, this guy was the superstar. The next crop of superstars, the next star, right? That's what they already giving him that title. He got beat, and the injury definitely played a role there. But I think he was compromised before that.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, this is a good test from coming back. I'm sure everybody's gonna be looking to see how he looks because, for all intents and purposes, this kid was pretty dynamic before the injury, bro. We were watching him on a couple of fights during the pandemic.
He had knocked people out with both hands, bro.
Yeah.
And his feet. He's very dynamic. Very, as they say, an accomplished 8-limb athlete. People are like 8 limb. We only have 4. We're talking about elbows and knees included.
Yeah.
Very dynamic. So it shocked the world when he lost, and he didn't have a title, but they were already pegging him. Hey, he should have a title fight already. But
yeah.
Just like Khamzat, but you haven't seen him in a while either.
Right.
So
don't talk about Khamzat like that, bro. We don't know what's going on with that guy. From COVID to all that. This kid is all over the place, man. And now he may not even fight again, bro. We're gonna see, man. Dana was saying some interesting things about him the week before last. So I'm
like what?
Inclined to see how this moves forward. No, he was just very I'm not gonna say he was very dismissive, but he was just very, straight, kind of like, well, we don't know what's going on with Khamzat. He's got some issues going on. His COVID, he's had it real bad. He's got it again. So it just sounds like it's a whole lot of issues that kind of compounded to this. But I don't know, man. I'm waiting to see because look, you can't walk me back now. You already got me here. You sold me on him being the baddest thing coming in at 185 or 170 or wherever he is, and all of a sudden just disappears.
Right.
You got to show me something.
He had 2 fights in a month, and you talking about he should be ready for a title fight.
Yeah, you got to show me something, Dana.
Yeah. So I think reality might have smacked him in the face. And like you said, the different issues that he's facing. Dana will do that, though. He had to push the envelope back then because the UFC was trying to win. Now it's winning. So he had to push the envelope and hang his hat on anything that was positive in combat sports. And he did. He pushed Khamzat. Khamzat, did he fight like in a week? I mean, it was something weird like that.
It was a crazy flip. Yeah, it was crazy. I want to say 14 days or 2. It was something like
it wasn't any more than 2 weeks because and they were all in Abu Dhabi.
Mm-hmm.
And both knockouts. I mean, first round, quick, and he's the scariest man walking the plane. I always pay attention to Habib when they start saying this. When you finally get somebody to catch Habib on camera and they'll ask about these guys. If they're good, Habib's like, yeah, very good. Yeah, very good. If they're not, he's like, just his expression tells you the reality of these fighters. Now, it's funny because everybody knew Habib was coming back. He was back. Dana had him. He's there managing his little brother, working with the UFC, opening up wrestling schools. I like what Habib's doing. I like the fact that Habib stopped at 29-0, went out after beating Justin Gaethje, and didn't have to look back.
Yeah, and it was funny because they always asking Dana about Habib, right? Mm-hmm. And I know me and you said this when you retired, and I think we talked about it briefly a few weeks ago. Honestly, bro, I never thought he was coming back. When I see what kind of man Habib is, and like we always say, he's a man of principle, right? But more importantly, he made a promise to his dad, who's no longer here. That means something to people, right? No, he made a promise to his dad.
No, he made a promise to his mom that he would stop fighting. He promised his dad he would go to 30.
He promised his dad that he would fulfill the destiny he wanted to fulfill as a fighter. Mm-hmm. And he made a promise to his mom that he would stop. That's all you need to know. And for anyone that, and I say that because I want people to understand that when you're a man of principle, when you stand for something, none of that other stuff matters. Khabib don't need the money because it's not about that. So I thought this was very selfish and kind of pompous of Dana White, because I am sure that Khabib has told him no. Straight up no. But I can see Dana like, well, let's just go have dinner, right, for the photo ops. We'll just show up here and show up there. So that way we can kind of keep this conversation going. But good for Khabib for getting on the interview with Megan on Saturday, or was that Sunday? Whatever day that was. and say, hey, I am done. I am happily retired. I have no reason to come back. I have nothing else to offer the sport. That means something, bro.
Now, if his dad had not passed, he would have had one more fight. He would have definitely taken one more fight. I don't know if you remember him talking, but their goal was to get to 30-0, and then go from there. That was his goal. His mom steps in after his dad passes and says, "Promise me this is your last fight." What do you say? I mean, my dad's already gone. My mom's still here. But and I mean, like you said, I'm as well happy that he's proving to be a man of principle. And people talk about, well, all that money he's turning down. Khabib is the friend of princes and kings around the world. He arguably is the most famous athlete, definitely the most famous combat sports athlete on the planet. It sounds crazy to say, but of the Arabic countries and the Eastern European countries, he was their Canelo. You're not going to get any higher in combat sports than Khabib Nurmagomedov anywhere. So you're right. There's no money that Dana can offer him. You know, he has the offerings of kings and princes. I don't see Dana having that kind of money to compel him to break his principles. So I'm very pleased that he has not come back. He's still the face of MMA. Anytime you see him, you know who he is. And hopefully he's able to help his younger brother and a lot of the other guys who came out of the same training school that his dad had. He's helping them get to the level where he was. You're not going to find, at some point, you're going to find middleweights, lightweights, all of them are going to be from that same stock because of the way the rules are in the cage and the style that they have of fighting. And I'm saying that, and I'm not backing off of it. You're going to see anywhere from, what's the lightest class? 115 for men? Or 125?
No, I think they go out of straw weight or something like 110, 115. It's tiny, bro.
You'll see anywhere from the straw weight up through eventually middleweight. Going to be Eastern European Islamic fighters coming out of that school. Mm-hmm. Because they still don't have an answer to Khabib. They don't have an answer to his brother. And there was another guy that fought a couple weeks ago. He looked just like them. He came out of he used to train with Khabib under Khabib's father. So they don't have an answer for them in the cage yet.
Right.
So don't be surprised if it's all that lineage holding titles in that range. And then the UFC is going to have to make an adjustment at some point. Because when the Brazilians were doing it, they had to make an adjustment. Because at one time, all you saw were Brazilians in the lightweights, the middleweights. And then the guy we were just talking about, Mr. Woodley, shows up. George St. Pierre was there. But you know, you see it. Anderson Silva, when he was the middleweight champ for how many years, and then the UFC makes adjustments after a while so they can bring back the American fan base. But they're gonna have to do the same thing with these Eastern European and Islamic wrestlers who are coming over, because they can take your punches, they can take your kicks, and they can take you down. Mm-hmm. That's why your boy Conor McGregor is no longer seen among real fighters as one of the greatest, because that's who they had pegged to be. He was going to rule the division from 150 to 170, 155 to 170, and no, there's too much there for Khabib. Decimated him. There was, and Conor didn't complain. There was no answer. So we'll see, but I personally feel like Mr. Nurmagomedov has, before he passed, laid a great lineage down through combat wrestlers, and they're gonna eventually take over the UFC in those medium weights. Look, there's an old man used to live near us in Brooksville. Bought a plot of land. I think he bought about 20 acres and had 10 acres cleared off for a freshwater lake, man-made lake. Had the thing suited up too. I mean, it was nice. Had picnic tables, had a dock, put some orange trees, peach trees, apple trees lining one whole side of it. And it was beautiful, bro. It was beautiful. One day he came out of his house. He said, I haven't been back there to check on my lake in a while. He came out of his house and took 2 buckets because he figured by now I should have some oranges or peaches or apples that I can pull off and fill my buckets. So as he's walking towards the lake, he hears this laughing and splashing, sound like young ladies. So he picks up his speed, he gets over to the lake, and there's a whole group of girls in there skinny dipping. And he just froze. And when they saw him, they froze. And one of them stood up and said, Mister, we're not going to leave this lake until you leave. And he says, I didn't come out here asking you to leave. I didn't come out here asking you to stay. I just came out here to feed the alligators.
Guess they getting that now. That was good, bro. That was good, man. Okay. I guess I ain't working on my man-made lake. I ain't got no property for it though.
A black man make a 5-foot lake and be good with it. He just put his feet in it.
Yeah, but they can't get in. How many was in his lake? I need 2 times the money he had in his lake. How many was in his?
Oh, well.
Yeah, 5, I need 10.
How many you got in your neighborhood?
None.
There you go. You putting the lake in the wrong spot.
No, listen, I just say I need double what he got. I can import them. Just tell me how many he had.
I'm done. Okay. What else you got?
That ain't much, man. We up against it, bro. How you want to do this?
Talk about doing a Bob Kraft. You gonna import them?
Hey, no, Bob went to them. You mean Deshaun? Never mind. Listen,
really?
What else we got? We up against it.
That was so disrespectful. Listen, why are people crying foul? Because the Eagles they're still crying about the Eagles letting Carson Wentz go and putting all their stock in Jalen Hurts. What has Jalen Hurts done to make you think he is not going to be a good NFL quarterback?
Hey, man, I'm Philly fans, bro. Ain't no surprises there.
No, this isn't just Philly fans. But
it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks.
Right.
Only the fans in Philly should be concerned about Jalen Hurts.
And you see your boy Kyle Pitts out of Florida, tight end, ran a 4.4 240.
That kid's a player.
Yeah.
That kid's a ball player, bro.
Yeah.
That kid's a ball player.
If I'm a team in the top 3, I'm looking at him. But I know they're looking at just the quarterbacks. But you know, and they're talking about next year's draft class is going to be so thin. I think you can pick up a quarterback in free agency still and get that kid, and he's going to make your offense instantly better.
Yeah, I mean the way the NFL is now, yeah, definitely. It's definitely more of a passing league. It's a different. The rules have made it not as physical anymore. So guys that probably would have had a hard time in certain spaces, they don't really have to worry about it anymore. You can kind of run free, so to speak. So for a guy like Kyle Pitts, for this generation of ball players, yeah, that's you need guys like that.
To me, he's a generational talent. When I've seen him play, and I'm not a Gator fan at all. My wife is.
Oh yeah, he's the one of the best players all year. I mean, yeah, that's no surprise there.
So
he's that good.
It's gonna be interesting. And shout out to my little brother Matthew, his school Oral Roberts, knocking off Ohio State and then knocking off Florida in the NCAA tournament to make it the Sweet 16. Didn't see that coming. They said after the first round, there were no perfect brackets left in America that were registered.
Yes, all the brackets got busted. Yeah.
Woo. And then Sister Jean praying her Loyola of Chicago team through. 111 years old, bro. She's been around longer than you.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. 111. Wow.
It's gonna be
interesting. Still, got her. Its faculties intact. That's a blessing.
Did you hear the prayer she gave them? That contained the scouting report.
Nah, I didn't hear it.
They actually put it up on TV. It contained the full scouting report of Illinois. I was like, wow.
Yeah. Listen, I'm sure God doesn't care about basketball. I could be wrong, but I'm sure he has more important things to worry about than basketball. But
would you say that about football?
Keep praying for wins and losses. I'm here for it all.
Would you say that about football, my friend?
I would too. Okay. Because he's answering my prayers for Jacksonville, which means he's busy.
No.
So
he's answered your prayers. Get another team. That's what he's telling you. But you're not listening to God. So
no, I'm a man like you. I'm loyal. Kind of like Job. I'm gonna stick around. We're gonna see how this play out. Anyway, give your shout outs.
Wow, Job. Wow. That's a good one though. Oh, sorry, I just kind of got lost when you had a Bible reference. Listen, shout out to the Queen Mother, shout out to my wife, shout out to my daughter, who, yes, and I want to speak out about this, and I'll show it on Thursday, but we've had people telling me that I violated child labor laws because I videotaped my daughter raking leaves. And you know what? Bump y'all. Nobody cared when they had me out there raking leaves. Nobody talked about child labor laws when I was out there dying in the sun. So she's all right. At least when she came in, she had food and water and juice waiting for her. Shout out to my pops and my brother, who just got a fantastic new job. Shout out to the Lipinski family who are still healing. Shout out to the Red Belly.
Hey, the Red Belly.
And shout out to Miss Darlene. And I do want to give a special shout out to the one contributor today on this show, and I'll put it back up. Shout out to Faki Santui. I know I mispronounced the last name. Hopefully I got the first name right.
Yeah, shouts out to Faki. He wasn't he, she, not sure, but I'm sure the people participated. They just didn't want to ask questions because they were too busy listening to all this.
I said
contribute. Was given out.
I said contribute. That's what I said.
Okay.
I didn't say didn't listen. Faki contributed. So, all right, bro.
Well,
go ahead and insult somebody before we go home.
Everybody is contributing in the spirit. We appreciate y'all rocking with us today. We'll see y'all tomorrow on our More Refined show. We have a lot less time to talk about more important things. In the meantime, man, spread the love is crazy out there. Shout out to Rondell Moore from Purdue, right? 5'7" with a 42.5-inch vertical and ran a 4.29.
Wow. He's
going to jump off somebody's draft board. Rest in heaven to Elgin Baylor the Great. And happy birthday, Kyrie Irving, even though the earth is not flat. And we'll see y'all tomorrow on our More Refined show. Peace.
The earth is not flat.